Hi guys, I have an interesting question I would like us to take a look at. I will also urge you to give it a trial at your end to see whether you can get it. Now the question is a question on probability, and it says a bag contains 3 black balls, 4 white balls and 5 red balls. 3 balls are removed without replacement. What is the probability of obtaining A. One of each color, B. At least 2 red balls? I would like you to pause the video and give it a trial, and when you are done, continue playing the video to see the solution of this question, and let us see whether we will get the same answer. Now, let's take a look at the solution. Let's look at the first part. Now, what are the things we need to do to answer this question correctly? We need to bring out the details that have been given to us in the question. According to this question, the number of black balls is 3. The number of white balls is 4. And the number of red balls is 5. Now, the total number of balls we have, which is the number of the black union the white union the red, which is the total black ball, the total balls that are there, they are 12 in numbers. Now that we know that there are 12 balls in this bag, now let's take a look at the probability we are required to find. What is the probability of obtaining one of each color? The first question is simply telling us that what is the probability? The probability of obtaining 1 black, 1 white, and 1 red, which is the probability of obtaining one of each color. That is, for the red, you pick 1, for the white, you pick 1, and for the black, you pick 1. How do we calculate the probability of this? Now, we need to check some important details in this question. Firstly, we were told that these things are removed without replacement, which means that when the first ball was removed, the number of balls left in the bag will reduce by 1. When I pick another ball again from it, the number of balls that will be left there will also be reduced by 1. So after my first pick, I will have 11 balls left out of the 12. Now I pick the second one, I did not return it again, making 2 out of the bag. Then I will have 10 balls in the bag. Now, with this knowledge in our heart, how do we now solve the probability of picking a black, a white, and a red? Now, you have to understand that this is a probabilistic problem, whereby you are not certain that when you pick the first ball, it has to be black. When you pick the second ball, it's going to be white, or the third ball is going to be red. You are not sure which order the ball can come. So the question now is, in how many different ways can you do this? Let me show you the possible outcome of these events that we can have. It is possible for us to have a black first, then a white, then a red. It is also possible for us to have a black first, a red, then a white. It is possible to have a white ball first, then a black and a red, or to have a white ball first, then a red and a black. Is it only the black ball that can come and the white ball that can come first? We can also have the red ball to come first. The red ball can come first, whereby we will have the second to be white and the third to be black. Or we have the first one to be red, the second one to be black, and the last one to be white. These are the possible ways we can pick one ball of each color. So I have a total of 6 possible ways this can be done. 6 possible ways this can be done. Then if that is the case, this implies that the solution to this question is going to be 6 multiplied by the probability of picking one white, followed by the probability of picking one red multiplied by the probability of picking one black. This is because all this we have equal probability, and that means all I just have to do is just to multiply this whole probability by 6, and that is why you are seeing this. Then let us go on. This is going to become 6. What is the probability of picking a white ball in the first place? The probability of picking a white ball is going to be 4/12, since there are 12 balls there and there are 4 white balls in the bag. Now, after picking the white ball, the probability of picking one red, don't forget that since one ball had been taken, now we are going to be left with 11 balls. What is now the probability of picking one red out of these 11 balls? Remember that we have not picked any red ball before, and for this reason, the number of red balls that are in that bag should still be 5. And that is why the probability of picking one red out of that is going to be 5 out of 11. Then multiplied by the probability of picking one black ball. Don't forget that I have not picked any black ball from there before. That means the number of black balls I should have there should still be 3 out of what? Out of 10. Don't forget why we have 12, 11, and 10. This is because when I picked the first ball, there were 12 balls there. When I picked the second one, there were 11 balls there. And when I picked the third one, there are 10 balls there. So the solution to this question now, all we just have to do is just to cut and go. Then 4, 3 cancels this 12. 5 here is 1 and 5 here is 2. I can then say 2 here is 1 and 2 here is 3. In total, I have 3 times 1 times 1 times 1, and that is 3, over 1 times 11 times 1, that is 11. So the probability of picking one black, one white, and one red is 3/11. I hope you have seen this. Now let us take a look at the second question. What is the probability of picking at least 2 red balls? Please don't forget that we already said how many balls were picked. There were 3 balls that were picked. Now we have seen the probability that one of them, that we are picking one of each color, which is 3/11. Now the next question is, what is the probability of picking at least 2 red balls out of these 3 picks? Let's take a look at the solution to that again. Now let us take a look at the second part of the question. How can we get the probability of obtaining at least 2 red balls? Now don't forget that the probability of obtaining 2 red balls implies you either obtaining 2 red balls or 3 red balls. But do not forget that there are 3 balls that have been drawn from that bag. So if there are going to be 2 balls that are red, that means the last ball must be one of black or one of white. So when we say the probability of picking 2 red balls, at least 2 red balls, then we are talking about 2 things. The probability of picking of picking 2 red balls and one other color, or the probability of picking 3 red balls. Now let us look at this on the board. The probability of picking at least 2 red balls is equal to the probability of picking 2 balls that are red plus one other color, because there are 3 balls in total that were drawn from the bag. Now, or taking 3 balls that are red out of the bag. Now let us see the number of ways these 2 balls can be picked, and another one will be the other color. Now I said these 2 red balls will now be, the probability of obtaining these 2 red balls will be either picking 2 red and 1 white, or picking 2 red and 1 black. I picked 3 balls and 2 of them are red. Then it's either the last one is white or the last one is black. So these are the 2 probabilities, 2 ways that can be done. So also the probability of picking the red balls, 3 red balls, is just one way: red, red, and red. Now let's look at this one again. What is the probability of picking 2 red and 1 white? 2 red and 1 white. You are picking red, red, and white. But are you very sure that the first time you picked it, you got red, the second time you picked it, you got red, and the third time you picked it, you got white? You can't be certain. It is also probabilistic. Then we need to ask ourselves, how many ways can that be done? For you to understand this, I said The number of ways this can be done is these 3 ways. How? The first could be red, the second red, and the third could be white. Or the first could be red, the second could be white, and the third will be red. Or the first is white, the second is red, and the third is red. This is the number of ways 2 red balls and 1 white can be picked. So we can say I have 3 ways this can be done. Multiplied by what is the probability of picking 1 red? That is going to be 5/12. Multiplied by picking another red again will be 4/11 because the ball has decreased by 1. Then multiplied by picking 1 white. How many whites are there? We've not picked any whites before. That is going to be 4/10. This probability you are seeing is the probability of picking 2 red and 1 white. Now, what is the probability of picking 2 red and 1 black? Let's look at that. This one can also be done in 3 ways. The first could be red, the second red, and the third black. The first could be red, the second black, and the third red. Or the third way, the first could be black, the second red, and the third red. Which means I also have 3 ways of doing this. 3 brackets. What is the probability of picking the first red? That is 5/12. The probability of picking the second red is 4/11. And the probability of picking the first black is going to be what? That will be 3/10 because we've not picked anyone at all. Now, what is the probability of picking 3 red? There is only one way of doing that. Is either the first is red, the second is red, and there is only one way. First is red, second is red, and the third is red. So the number of ways this can be done is 1 multiplied by first red is 5/12, followed by 4/11, followed by 3/10. How did I get 3/10? When I pick the first ball, that is red, I add 5 red balls out of 12. When I picked the second, I add 4 red balls out of 11. And when I picked the third, I have 3 red balls out of 10. So all I have to do now is just to simplify this and get the probability of getting at least 2 red. There is another simple way of doing this whereby we are going to use the combination law in this way. But let us solve this so that it is intuitive for us. And this is going to be 5 here is 1, 5 here is 2, 4 here is 1, 4 here is 3, 3 cancels this. Then I'm left with 2 here 1 and 2 here is 2. Then we are having 1 times 2, that is 2/11, plus, let's look at the next one, 4 here is 3, 3 cancels this, 5 here is 1, and 5 here is what? 5 in 10 is 2. Then we have the total answer for this part is going to be 3 times 1 times 1, that is 3/22, which is 11 times 2, added to 4 here is 3, 3, 3, 5 here is 1, and 5 here is 2. So we are having plus another 1/22. If I add 3/22 to 1/22, I will get 4/22. And 4/22 plus 2/11 will give me 8/22. I believe you can also answer that. All you just have to do is just to multiply this by 2. 2 times 2 will give you 4, and 2 times 11 will give you 22. So all of them will now have the same base, the same denominator of 22. So the addition will be simpler then. So this is the same as writing 4/22 plus 3/22 plus 1/22. And we have 8/22. Then we reduce it to the lowest term. We get 4/11. Did you get the same answer as I did? If you did that, then congratulations to you. We have both done well. This is the solution to the question. I want you to keep practicing mathematics so that you can get it better. In your next coming examination, you can even do more of this. Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy yourselves. Bye.